Hello everyone, friends. Today I'm going to talk about a film I watched a month ago and really enjoyed. Even though it's categorized as a romantic comedy, there will be moments that make your eyes well up. At times, it makes you realize how much we exaggerate the things that happen to us, or how what we go through can shape the rest of our lives. As we all know, death is a reality. For some, it can feel like something good, for others, something bad. But think about it. At least in my opinion, how much joy could we really get from a life where death doesn't exist? Death is, of course, a negative reality, something that tears you apart inside and puts you into mourning. And yet, at the end of the day, it's also what makes what we have valuable. Would you look back and think about it too? If we had an endless life, how much would we truly value anything? How much importance would we place on not breaking hearts, not hurting the people we love, and being mindful of things like that? It's debatable. This is a question everyone has to think through and answer for themselves. Anyway, the film I'm talking about is David Frayn's Eternity. They've made an afterlife rom-com, and I think they pulled it off successfully. When you consider the romantic comedies that have come out recently, this one stood out to me in terms of its screenplay. Seeing the same things over and over can start to feel tiring. The film's cinematographer, Rory O'Brien, says in an interview that even before the budget was fully secured, about 2 years earlier, they made an initial decision that this would be a Billy Wilder-type film. But 2 years is a very long time, and ideas can change over time. After that conversation, he mentions they didn't really talk about it much until the budget was finalized. In later discussions, Frayn asked Rory to take a look at Albert Brooks' films. And finally, in that interview, they say that for the color choices in the film, they studied works like The Graduate and The Sound of Music. Alright, now let's get to the cast and the story. The leads are Elizabeth Olsen, Joan, Miles Teller, Larry, and Callum Turner, Luke. Joan and Larry are our main characters, and there's Luke too, of course, but I'll get to him in a moment. The film begins with our couple, who have spent an entire lifetime together, collecting countless memories through good times and bad, going to their children's place for their grandchildren's gender reveal party. On the way, Larry complains that gender reveal parties are ridiculous. He basically thinks throwing a party for that is silly, while Joan is more understanding about it. Larry comes off a bit grumpy, or at least like someone who doesn't really enjoy parties. Around the time the party starts, right at the moment Luke is being mentioned, Larry dies from choking while eating a pretzel. You're going to ask, who is Luke? Okay, I'll tell you. Luke is Joan's first husband. He died in the Korean War, which means there's a love story that was cut short, an unfinished romance. Let's continue. Larry opens his eyes on a train, completely confused about what's going on. His mind is a mess. The train stops at a station called Junction, a kind of in-between place, and Larry starts wandering around. He tries to get help from people around him to understand what's happening, but the only thing he keeps hearing is,
"Your AC will be with you shortly.
Your AC will be with you shortly.
Your AC will be with you shortly.
So what is this AC? It stands for Afterlife Coordinator, and they help you make the right decision. From this point on, the video may include spoilers, so if the film interests you, I recommend watching the movie first and then coming back to this part. Let's continue. Here's what's really going on. In this junction-like crossroads, you have to choose an eternity. And you have to be careful, because once you make a choice, there is absolutely no going back. It's a one-way journey. Of course, Larry wants to wait in the junction because he assumes his wife Joan, who has cancer, will join him soon. While he's waiting, one day he meets a bartender, and guess who that bartender is? Of course, Luke himself. As Larry sits at the bar, he and Luke talk. Until Joan arrives, Luke is just the bartender, and Larry is simply one of the people there. And then, when Joan finally arrives at the junction, everything gets complicated because Luke has been waiting for Joan for decades, refusing to choose any eternity. Honestly, that's a huge sacrifice, love in a completely different form. When Joan arrives and sees Luke in front of her, she's stunned and also genuinely happy to see him. But that happiness won't last long because Larry is there too, and when Joan realizes just how messy and difficult the situation is, she walks away. It's truly such a hard situation. If I had to choose between the man I spent decades with and a love that was left unfinished, between two entire life stories, I think I'd lose my mind. Because you can only choose one, and it's an irreversible decision. And when you watch it, you'll see Joan growing more and more conflicted as the days pass. Because throughout this process, both Luke and Larry will do everything they can to make her choose them. At times, they'll blame each other and try to make the other look bad. Let me say this, I'm not going to tell you the ending. In the last 30 minutes, you're really on edge, wondering which one she's going to choose. And maybe she won't choose either of them, who knows? I'd recommend giving this film a chance. It's a production you can really enjoy watching. I personally liked it a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts after you've seen it. Also, if you like the video and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Wishing you days filled with cinema. See you in another video. Take care.